In the spirit of positivity, today I will be taking a fair look at the latest Disney's The Little Mermaid trailer. Since the announcement of a live-action reboot was made, fans have been extremely divided. For those who do not know, Disney's The Little Mermaid is set to release on the 26th of May 2023. The film will star Halle Bailey as Ariel, Melissa McCarthy as Ursula, and Jonah Hauer-King as Prince Eric. At the Oscars last night, a more in-depth trailer was revealed, showcasing exactly what we can expect from The Little Mermaid. In an almost 3-minute trailer, fans got an extended look into exactly what Halle Bailey will be offering fans in the role of The Little Mermaid. Since this is a Disney movie, we got to see Halle Bailey killing it while performing Part of Your World. Furthermore, we got to see exactly what the supporting cast will look like. With that said, as much as I want to be positive about this movie, there are some glaring issues we do need to discuss. The issue with Disney's The Little Mermaid runs much deeper than many might think. Although I do believe that this movie is shaping up to be much better than many want to give it credit for, there are a few things that cannot be ignored. I stated that I wanted to be positive about this film, and I do, but I also have to be objective about my assessment. Based on the limited exposure we have been subjected to, The Little Mermaid seems to be falling on every trap from live actions before. So in the spirit of objectivity, let's start with the first. Why is this movie so dark? Everyone remembers the bright and colorful world of the animated movie and series. When it comes to this live action, that bright and magical world is completely missing. It could just be my own personal nitpick, but a similar issue was raised with Peter Pan and Wendy as well. With these live-action films, Disney just cannot seem to capture any of the magic presence in the original animation. It would be easy to argue that, of course, the aesthetic of a live-action will be darker. If I compare this underwater world to other movies, it just seems to be lacking. Once again, I would like to point out, this is not a Little Mermaid problem. This is a Disney live-action problem. Surely CGI can come up with something a bit brighter. This does lead me to the next glaring issue: Disney and their poor CGI. The CGI for this film has been a massive point of contention. In all honesty, Disney does have a long-standing history when it comes to poor CGI. This issue stretches far beyond just your normal live-action movies. However, with that said, the glaring issue with taking animated animals and turning them into real-life creatures is hard to ignore. The Lion King in particular suffered very aggressively from this issue. You cannot capture emotion the same way you do with animated films. This does lead me to believe that Disney needs to find a balance between ultra-realistic and animation. Sebastian the Crab is a perfect example of this, and the same goes for all the other animals in this movie. The truth is, there are ways to mitigate this and give fans the best of both worlds. If you want examples of how to do it properly, you do not need to look very far. It was not that long ago when Sony found themselves in the hot seat during the filming of their own live-action adaptation. Who remembers realistic Sonic the Hedgehog? Sony has done an amazing job listening to fans and making Sonic way more cartoon-like. I believe if Disney does the same with their movies, it will go a long way in capturing that magic. Even decade-old movies like Stuart Little do a better job with their real live animation. It is hard to believe that Disney cannot figure this out. With that said, I have focused a lot on all of the negative aspects of this trailer. The truth is, there are also elements here that are positive. I know there are a lot of people disappointed in the casting choice, and I do think you have the right to express that without the fear of being labeled something terrible. Race swapping is a complicated issue and one that does not have a simple solution. I have stated my feelings about this topic so many times that at this point, it is not worth it repeating myself. So in the spirit of positivity, let's talk about what I like. Halle Bailey's voice is magical. She does a phenomenal job with the musical aspects. Since this is a Disney movie, I do think that is extremely important to get right. Based on the trailers I have seen, they do a great job with it. Based on the very limited screen time in the trailer, Melissa McCarthy as Ursula seems to be a perfect fit. I know she has some very bad movies out there, but she also has strong performances. I believe Ursula in this movie can be a hidden gem. Additionally, Jonah Hauer-King fits the role of Prince Eric perfectly. In my personal opinion, he is probably as close to the animated version as you are going to get. At the end of the day, Disney live-action movies are set to continue moving forward. Although the online reception for some of these is not great, they still pull in massive box office numbers. As long as these movies continue to pull in money, Disney will milk this for as long as they can. When it comes to casting choices, that will also be a point of contention moving forward. As Disney tries to rid itself of their past, more diverse casting is set to continue. Disney had plenty more live-action movies lined up, and certain casting choices have already been made. The upcoming Snow White movies will also feature Rachel Zegler, and although she is an extremely talented actor who has an insane vocal range, controversy has already made its way into production. On a personal note, I have made peace that the current set of Disney movies is no longer meant for me. I am simply not the target audience. Although I have fond memories of these classics, it is time for a new audience to enjoy these films. For a person in their late 20s, maybe it is time to allow the new generation to dictate what they want. Although these reboots are not at all how we remember them, we will always have the originals to watch. When I hear the phrase, updating for a modern audience or reimagining, I already know that it won't be worth the watch. For now, I will look back fondly on my childhood and allow for a new generation to do the same.